Hey soul babes, welcome to the Essence Podcast. I'm your host Riss, and in this space, consider me your intuitive bestie here, sharing the tools, knowledge, wisdom, and reflections on how to reconnect back to your essence. This podcast is all about remembering you are a unique soul on your own unique journey, and I'm here as your guide, as your bestie, as a human sharing and helping you discover how to choose yourself first and foremost, but also how to become your own greatest case study, because that is what allows you to stop looking outside of yourself and starting to take that gaze inward and creating a life that fully reflects your own authentic truth. If there's anything you should know about me, I love reflecting. I love chatting with my own besties in real life and sharing what's going on, and then getting wisdom and insight through those reflections, not only from my besties, but also from my higher self. So this is where this episode is headed. It's really headed towards reflective mode. You know, sometimes I'm not always a guide. Sometimes I'm not always like the person with all the insight, but I am a human going through that same experience of coming back home to your essence. And through that discovery of chatting with our friends, we start to see that it unravels itself. So I want you to grab your tea, grab your crystals, whatever you need to get grounded, and let's go. In your divine essence you shine. In your divine essence you thrive. I'm your host Riss, and you're listening to Essence Podcast. So raw, real, authentic. It sounds crazy saying that, raw, I want real, I want authentic. This has me just kind of like remembering this post that happened. It was an article that I read, and it was saying that a lot of what's going to happen and being predicted in 2026 is people want raw, people want real, they want authentic, because AI is just like perfecting everything. AI is just making everything all picture perfect, great, and images are becoming so enhanced with perfectness that we miss the authenticity, we miss the grunginess of it all. We miss just how real it looks. I know when I scroll down not AI. I know when I scroll down Instagram and I come across a video that is AI and it looks real. It looks like a dog's really taking a baby a bath or something random, but like it looks real. It looks like it's actually happening. And it's becoming so real that it's like messing with my own mind. And I have to literally click the comments and be like, is that real or is that fake? And then, everyone's like, you could totally tell it's AI. And I'm like, that fooled me because I thought that was real. That's the type of energy that is mixing us up. It's kind of confusing. And it's confusing for me too, because not only is it through that AI, but it's also something that we find through like people who post, a lot of coaches. I know they have their shit together, so it looks like, but sometimes I know they don't because they're human and I'm human and we're all human. So I know they're also learning from their mistakes. They're also growing. But when we become so perfected by it, when we share these like, this is the end result, this is what you should aim for, this is what it should be, it's like, okay, how the hell do I get here out of here first before I can get over there? And sometimes it doesn't just happen like that quickly. It like literally has to happen at its own pace. I have this beautiful drawing that I bought from Melissa Villaseñor. I saw her live doing a comedy show at the Improv, and she was also selling her art. And in this collection of art pieces she had, there was one that stood out to me the most, and it said, take your time with your magic. And that piece really didn't make sense to me at first, but it looked cool. There's like a snail and it's very colorful, and I'll show you the picture. It's like following people that are kind of running, like a group of people, and this snail is like moving so slow behind them, and it says take your time with your magic. And what I've learned through this process of my Saturn return is like literally having to take time with my magic, having to take time with the idea that I am human. And yes, I may know what I know and have this wisdom and insight, but then I also don't. I also am living through the nitty gritty shitty of having to figure it out in the moment. And both sides exist. Both sides are real at the same time. So, taking your time with your magic has been one of the main themes that has been popping up, because for a very long time, I wanted to rush things. I wanted to get to the finish line. And though I talk about the very opposite of that, of taking your time, of being a beginner, I've definitely mentioned that a lot of times. I know I have. But to practice what you preach, man, that takes commitment. That takes really standing up for that. You are saying something, now believe it. You know, you are preaching something, now do it. And one of those big taking time with your magic heavy energies that would block me taking time with my magic was money. Yes, money, security, foundation, right? Like feeling secure in ourselves. It's hard to like take time with your magic, take time with your dreams, your creations when you are living in a situation that feels shitty. That's all I could say. Like you're living in a situation where you don't like your job, you don't like your living situation, or you don't like something in your present moment life, and you're needing a pivot. You're needing your dream to come faster. You're needing things to happen sooner so that way you can get out of this like feeling of a hellhole. And not saying that my life has been a hellhole, because I truly do love my life, and my life has been, it's been magical because I've been having a big support team on my side really helping me. But mentally and financially, masculinity like was falling so short and so like to the ground. I've mentioned this quite a few times, and it's something that I'm okay with repeating constantly, is that feminine and masculine energy. So I've been embodying my feminine, and it feels so good to be there. It feels so good to have visions and dreams and manifest, and also have synchronicities and listen to my intuition and be able to go through my shadow with ease and grace, to be able to mother myself. Just so many versions that I can tap into with my feminine and be there. But with my masculine, it was falling short for so long. Like a lot of what I created with my masculine, I tried to avoid. I really did try to avoid like anything that came with my masculine, helping him out. And it's been a struggle. And so when it came to like having these dreams and these visions of creating certain projects and having this like urgency for community and growth, I noticed that I would skip the masculine part, right? The doing, like taking your time with your magic and just practicing. Just literally the word practice in itself just means showing up every day for that thing. And I became afraid of that. I became blocked from actually choosing to do that, because of a fear, because of a survival mechanism. And that is, if it's not already making money, then why am I doing it? That's something I grew up with, you know, like I talk about that I never really saw a lot of family members or any of them pursue art, creativity. You know, it's more of that logical, sensible 9 to 5 or something that, you know, is already been done, paved the way. And so when it comes to like creating something out of your own imagination, it's like nobody's seeing the vision but you. So taking time with your magics feels like I ain't got time for that. Like I got to make it happen now. People got to see me having this together now. And it became a very big scary block for my own root chakra, for that security, that root of who I am. It became so wobbly. And that's why my masculine itself couldn't find enough strength to move, because there was just a big wound, a big block of like, if it's not making money, then why are we here? Why are we showing up every day? Like, we need it now. And through that process of reflecting and seeing just more deeper ways on how to work through that block, I've had to go back in time and see that a lot of it is, connected to my father being more of that sensible, teaching me that sensible, but also my family members, but also my relationship with my boyfriend. And I love my boyfriend so, so much. We've been together for 7 years. But I remember that when we built our foundation together, I was in a very low place in my life. Like, I think I've talked about this with you. I've talked about this with him on my podcast, but like, I did not think I was going to end up with my boyfriend when I did. I thought that I was going to just be dating him and it would be like a one and done. Like, that's it. Yeah. Like, yeah. Toot it and boot it type of energy back in college. We got together when I was 22. So that was my mentality. I had already been torn apart, shred to pieces, heart to limb and everything, with guys in college, giving myself to whomever could just love me, that by the time it got to my boyfriend, I was like cold, stone hearted, like not looking for a relationship. And he became that soft soul that I needed in my life to help soothe these rough edges within me. And so for 7 years, I had been going through this moment of growth and transformation. So that's where my Saturn return takes a very big pivot in my life. It really made me, because my Saturn is in Pisces. Well, our Saturn is in Pisces if you are from the age of 27 to 30. If you're not between that age, I highly recommend you check where your Saturn return is and which house it is in. For me, so it's Pisces, but it's also in my 4th house. And the 4th house is what represents foundation. It represents my identity. And all of that was really what transformed, even throughout the relationship. So it became a pivotal moment. And to come back to what I was sharing with like the foundation of how I created my relationship with my boyfriend, he's been my number one supporter. Let me just say that. Numero uno on the chart list of everyone who has stood by my side while my world collapsed and while I decided to choose the nonsensible route and go for my dreams and create a podcast and create the creatrix activation and all these beautiful things that show my essence. But what I created with that foundation of us together was security. Not only did I choose from a heart-centered place that I would be with my boyfriend, but also because he could provide for me. And this is also like something that a lot of women choose a man for, right? Is security. Is like, I am safe, I'm secured, like all these different ways that a masculine energy can show up when your masculine energy is not able to show up for yourself. And it helped me. And I'm so grateful for it because it allowed me to get to where I am. But now that I am here, December 17th, 2025, I've been having these very big pivotal moments because now am I realizing that yes, my feminine has finally gotten a chance to breathe, to rewire, to recalibrate. Yes, I've been able to have these identity shifts. I've been able to go into my shadow, which is also governed by the feminine, being able to work through my emotions, through my childhood. I've been able to like dream and see what my dream is calling from me. But also what I've been noticing are the heavier depths of myself. And that is that my feminine can't go anywhere without my masculine. Like, we are not able to like push forward if we don't allow our masculine to get up and go and do. And it's wild because it's like the number one thing that I had given to my boyfriend that we built our relationship on, well, not number one, but one of the tops of what our relationship was built on was him being my security. And the reflection for me here is, and the reflection for all women who are going through something similar, is how do you get your energy back? How do you call back your masculine to yourself? Like, how do you wake up your masculine and stop leaning on that crutch? And that's been the bigger shifts that I've been seeing. It's been like, how the heck do I recalibrate and become my own person fully from feminine to masculine? And how do I start on the outside, start taking steps, start feeding my projects, my crafts at my own pace? How do I authoritatively show up for it, setting those like, no, I'm showing up here. This is how I know my foundation is going to look. And of course, the more that we put one foot in front of the other, and especially when it comes to a sense of service, that will naturally rebuild itself. Security, right? Like, it will naturally start to flow because you are focused and you're making a container for your money. So this is where I'm at right now. Is like, I've made so many projects. I've made so many different offerings, and they've either became a success or it was too early. Like, it was too early for me to launch. It was too early for me to talk about. It was too early to like put out there and into the public. It was just too early. So like, these seeds become weak because it's like, you're like, or me, I'm like digging out the seed, like, come on, grow already, like, show yourself, like, be where I am. The seed is basically beginner energy, but I'm trying to make it already be master. I'm trying to make myself already be master because of my own insecurity of like, get yourself to be this master by letting your masculine hurry up and wake up and be this person, like embodiment and authority. And it's like that missing piece is practice, that missing piece of the puzzle of like, what makes the flower grow is water, is sunlight, is the action, is the practice, So what I'm really getting at here is that not only is it about taking your time with your magic, but it's also about reclaiming back your own authoritative. Stop allowing thyself to lean on others to do the work for you or to hold more of the weight for you, and instead do it for yourself. And this is a mental block. This is an emotional block. This is something where I want to be clear, like, my mind is not on the block anymore. This is where I'm updating you too. It's like, my mind is actually not on the block anymore of like, how do I get out of this? My mind knows already. Like, this is where awareness kicks in of like, I know this is my pattern. I know this is what I was doing. I was definitely leaning. I created this foundation with him. But my gut, my energy inside, the solar plexus that's ruled and governed by your masculine, is scared. It is in a survival still. It doesn't know and doesn't feel safe enough to trust that what your mind is thinking and what that practice is feeling like feels all the way true for you. It doesn't feel fully comfortable that I show up every day and DJ. It doesn't feel comfortable that I show up every day and be vulnerable here on this podcast. It doesn't feel comfortable enough to let my masculine show up for my craft. And this is because not only is this having to be rewired and recalibrated within myself, but it also needs to be rewired and recalibrated within the relationship. So, update here. That is one of the pivotal points I have to have with my boyfriend right now is like talking with him, energetically removing this with him of how I've leaned on him, and how to stop doing that, like how to change that energy, because it all starts too again with awareness, with that communication. It starts with our words. Like our words are literally our spells. Like if you notice people say spelling bee, they say spell it out. That means like literally once you're stating something and writing it out, that is a spell. That is you initiating this. And to release the spell, to dismantle that of what you created things with, you have to like actually create another spell, to like break it, to create another one, you know? And this has been like one of the biggest eye openers for me here in 2025. The biggest one yet, because it becomes full circle moment of like the foundation again. Like I thought I was already done rewiring or calibrating my foundation, but that was with my dad. That foundation that I was recalibrating and rewiring was with my childhood, was with the people in my family. But this one with a present person in my life, like I feel like that's never been done before. I've also seen that it's never really been done before, that a partner talks with their partner and says, "Hey, I noticed that I had been, relying on you and using you as a crutch and in like a crutch where I needed that in the moment." I do feel like crutches in our life happen, but like when you're ready to let go, like of that crutch, when you can walk alone, like it's kind of weird. It's wonky. It doesn't feel right. And that's the biggest discussion that I've yet to have before the year ends, of like, we have to change this. This is not serving us. I am to become my own person. I am to speak my own way, and I'm to choose to show up, not out of survival, not out of insecurity because my projects aren't making money yet, but to choose to show up because I love this. I want to practice this because I know that eventually that container of practicing and being of service eventually turns into currency, eventually turns into security, eventually turns into money. So a lot of what I've learned too is like, that is where it starts. Like you don't make the project, you don't make the service for the money. You make it for the passion, you make it for the service itself. And then with that container being made properly, then actual abundance gets to flow over, like tenfold over than what you could have ever imagined, because you knew that this container can hold that much and you can feed it more with more insight and love and gratitude, which, yeah, it becomes money. So taking time with my magic is what I'm learning here. Taking my time, putting one foot in front of the other, showing up, and letting myself go deeper with trust, self-trust. That's another big one that is to form when you are using your own willpower and masculine energy, your masculine authority to show up. So yes, this is the Risk Chronicles. This is the Risk journal, diary, prompt of it all, is how can you let go of the grip of any crutch that you're holding on to, and how can you embody that yourself, and how can you talk about it to transmute it, to release it, and to start living in a more full, authentic version of yourself. So I hope this message finds you well. And if you have any thoughts, any insight about what I'm sharing here, I would love to hear your input. I would love to hear if this is something that you're going through, like that you're reflecting on, that you're seeing. I also want to know if you are in your Saturn return, have you already done your Saturn return? Also, if you have, like, please, I need to know your tea on, like, how was that? What big moments did you find were pivotal moments for you, growth moments for you, awakenings, you know? And if you already did your Saturn return, best believe there's another one. But I've heard that your Saturn return in your 50s is like a lot more like wisdom-esque Saturn energy. And I pray that is true. But if it's not, you know, I'm here. I'm here to lend my jacket, lend my coat of protection while you're in your Saturn. And if you have not been in your Saturn return just yet, I would love to know what sign you're in and what house that's in, and maybe we can chat and start to prepare you before it happens. So I hope this message again finds you well. And if you would like to learn more about being in your essence, if you would like to follow me and see the way that I am moving and grooving, then you can visit Essence of Riss on TikTok and Instagram. And then if you would like to hear more episodes on Essence Podcast, be sure to listen on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. And I will see you in the next one, Soul Babes. Bye for now.